Good morning. It's a beautiful morning, and today we're going to be robots. I am a robot. I am following commands. You're going to follow the commands exactly as they are written. And we're going to do, not right now, but this is the first announcement that we're going to do a PB&J challenge. So what I want you to do is send in your instructions, and there's going to be a link to, in fact, I'll put the link here to the PB&J challenge as well. And so what you're going to do is you're going to send me instructions in to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. For those that don't know what that is, it's 2 pieces of bread, peanut butter, and Americans call jam jelly. Don't know where you are in the world, but it's like strawberry compote, strawberry preserves. So it's bread, peanut butter, jam, bread sandwich, and then you eat it. Well, I won't be eating it because I'm allergic to wheat, but I will be making them. And then what we'll do is we'll take them, we'll make sure we're all hygienic, and then we'll take them and give them to people that don't have much food, poor things, having to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They probably won't thank us, but that's what we're going to do. So please write your instructions for making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. There's an example in a very funny YouTube video in the activity sheet, which is in the description above. So let's get on with today's activities. It's all about coding. Today's about coding. I didn't actually say that in the description, did I? It's about coding. It's all about coding. And the thing is that we're coding. What you can do with coding, one of the many things you can do with coding is command a robot. So what do you know about robots? Tell the person that's with you, what do you know about robots? What about drones? Are drones robots? What are drones? Have you ever seen a drone? Have you ever flown a drone? Are they pre-programmed? This is one of the things. Is it pre-programmed? Is it coded? Or are you controlling it live? And then what about driverless cars? Are driverless cars drones? Are they driven by remote control, or are they robots? And where does artificial intelligence come into all of this? This is great stuff. And this session's aimed at 7 to 18-year-olds. So if that's you, if you've got anyone in the home with that, then great. Now I'm going to be getting up and making a fool of myself. So this is going to be quite suitable for any age. Oh yes, then you know the ones that mow lawns. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those. There are robots that mow lawns. Now just discovered that in America that's mowing the yard. And if you mowing the garden apparently is just flattening all your nice bushes. So, and what about the ones that clean floors? There's vacuum cleaners, and they come out of their little cubby hole and go around and then go back into their little cubby hole. They completely control themselves, and then when they run out of juice, they go and plug themselves in when they know they've got enough to get back home to get charged up again. So let's start with looking in a mirror. So I'm looking at you. Actually, I could use the visualizer for this. I know what I'm going to use. I'm going to use, if you don't have a mirror with you, I'm going to use my mobile phone, my cell phone. I'm going to look at myself in my cell phone. Here we go. And turn it round. So I'm looking at myself. Oh dear, that was a shock. What happens when I look in the mirror? I'm going to touch my right ear. Well, it looks like I'm touching my left ear there. That can be a bit confusing. Right, now I'm going to wink my left eye. Can you do that without opening your mouth? I'm like, so I automatically open my mouth to wink my eye. Keep my mouth closed. Now wink my eye. Can I do it? I can. I have to really think about it. In the mirror, what does it look like you're doing? Okay, so I've winked looks like my right eye. Now, it looks like I'm winking my right eye. If I can do it, I might have to force it with my finger going, oh, there you go, that one. But it looks like it's my right eye, not my left. I know it's my left because I can feel it, but it looks like my right eye in the mirror. Right, what other actions? I'm going to put my finger in my ear. Yeah, that doesn't look like my right ear. That looks like my left ear. It's all got turned around. I don't know if you've watched any of my other sessions, but sometimes I'm doing stuff with a visualizer and it can be very confusing because I think I'm going up and it's going down and I'm having to do opposite actions, and it can be quite interesting. If I'm looking at the image on the computer and doing the action on the visualizer. Hello, I'm looking at myself still here. So do the actions and then describe what you did. Describe what your image did. There's a good reason for doing this, and this applies for all ages. This is preparation. So now there's more than one of you. I'm going to have to use my phone here because that's it. I'm the only one here. I'm going to face my mirror, and we're each going to do. I'm going to do 3 actions. In fact, I could do it with you. I'm going to do 3 actions, and you've got to mirror me. Although no, because I'm not a mirror to you. You're seeing me the right way, I think. Do you know what? I don't even know. Now, I'm not even sure if you've double imaged or not. If you've got someone there with you, do the actions and get them to mirror it. I don't have that option, so I'm just going to go, right, well, what is my mirror going to do if I go, ooh, okay. And then I'm going to go, and then I'm going to go, what did you do? Send us pictures of what you're doing. Okay, so you could do this, by the way. It doesn't have to just be 2 people. You can do this as a whole class. You get one person at the top, or a whole group get one person at the top and get everybody to mirror it. It's hilarious because different people do different things, and it can be a real fun activity. Right, now we're going to do some rotations. This is all prep. We're prepping for later. You ready? I did tell you I'm going to be standing up and doing stuff, so I'm going to have to holler loud because I'm going to take my microphone off, put it on here, and then hopefully you can hear me. Now I must look at the mirror. Must look at what you can see. Okay, now. And then I've got to work out, make sure I'm doing it right as well. I'm going to talk nice and loud to make sure the microphone can pick me up, because otherwise my wire is going to get all muddled up. You ready? Right, the first thing I'm going to do is clockwise 360 degrees. I'm going to move, like you start moving and see if we're doing the same thing. I'm going to go clockwise, which is the same way as a clock, 360 degrees. Now I'm going to go the opposite way, anti-clockwise or counterclockwise, 360 degrees. Okay, now I'm going to go to the right. You decide which is the right. Which way do you think I'm going to go? Which way are you going to go? 180 degrees. Ready? And that's going to be clockwise. And now I'm going to go left 180 degrees. Counterclockwise, anti-clockwise. And now I'm going to go left again, 180 degrees. So I will have actually done a full circle. You ready? Left, counterclockwise, anti-clockwise. And now right, clockwise. There we go. Now we've got one more thing. I'm going to turn by the amount of a right angle. And I'm going to go left. You could do a right angle left. I'm going to go the opposite way. So I'm going to do, what do you think that is if I'm going to do a right angle to the left? What do you think that I'm going to be doing? You ready? I'm going to do it. This is so that you can kind of see the movement more obviously. Ready? I'm going to go a right angle to the left, to my left, anti-clockwise, counterclockwise. Ready? How many degrees did I turn? And I'm now going to go counterclockwise, clockwise to the right, 90 degrees. Aha, 90 degrees, right angle. And now I'm going to go right, so I'm going to complete 180 degrees. And I've just done turn right by 90 degrees, which is also clockwise. I'm going to go left again by 90 degrees, counterclockwise to be back the way I was facing. Now, I've done rotations, but I haven't done any translations. I have simply pivoted by different angles on one spot. Now, if I was going to do a translation, I might take 2 steps backwards and rotate clockwise 90 degrees, or rotate to the right 90 degrees. So back 1, 2 steps, now rotate clockwise. And now if I go forwards 1 step and rotate clockwise, and now if I go forwards 1 step and rotate 180 degrees counterclockwise. Yeah, that was counterclockwise, anti-clockwise. And now I'm going to go forwards 5 steps. I'm going to make it more complicated. Forward 5 steps, rotate, anti-clockwise, 90 degrees. No, not going to do that. I'm going to forward 5 steps, left 1 step, and sit down. Those are that's my coding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, left 1 step and sit down. That could have been tough if I'd actually missed the step. If I'd coded it wrong, I'd have ended up on the floor. Right, well, that's coding. I've coded my movements. Now we're going to do something, we're going to go back to that in a minute. And now we're going to, I'm just looking at my documents here to make sure that I've got everything I need. And right, so the other word you can use mirror, you can use right hand and left hand, you can use full and half turns. I talked about the degrees. You could have said, I might have said at some point a full and half turn, all these, a quarter turn, a right turn, a left turn, and then give someone, write out all the commands and then give someone the commands. You can give, now if you're coding, you write out all the commands and then you press go. Well, a human might not remember all the commands, so you might want to give them 1 step at a time. And giving the commands is super important. You might get someone to draw, say, walk around a rectangle or make a shape, some kind of shape. And you can create whatever shape you want to create. You can make a character and see if your commands get them to do what you want them to do. So that should be a bit of fun. And then looking, just use the mirror, do what you want to do in a mirror, only you've got to think about what your reflection's going to do. So you've got to give commands to your reflection. Now that's a bit of a brain twister. And again, full, half, quarter turns, left, right, and then the translation. I remember I said I was staying on the spot, but then when I translated, I was moving spots, and so I haven't used that word translation again just now, but taking those steps is translating. So as long, if you don't move, change the aspect, change the way you're standing, as long as you're taking steps in any direction, you're translating and not rotating. So you've got, I'm just looking if there's there's no new language there. It's mainly just using that translation. And then going, now this is everything we've done up to now, we can do in primary. And it's great fun. You can do it with one person or you can do it with a whole group of people. And And you can do it on Zoom or, you know, different WhatsApp and all these different things. This is something you can do to work together as a team. So by remote, which is the great part of it. Now I'm just going to go back to this bit here. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to go and get my board and we're going to command the robot. One moment, wait a minute, I'm going to put the microphone back here. Oopsie, there we go. Move my chair to one side. I've translated my flip chart. I'm going to go to the side now. I think it might be, I haven't been doing that. Woo! Make sure it stays vertical and then make sure that you can see what I hope you might want you to see. Yes, excellent. I'm going to rotate it just a little bit so you don't have that reflection. You can see the shape of my mirror. You can see it reflected in there. Oh, can you even see the shadow? You see the shadow of my hand. That's a nice little exercise you could do. That's a different type of exercise, but since we were talking about, there we go, that's better, no reflections there. So we're starting here and we're going to finish here. So I would like you, using 5 rotations, I would like you to plot a path from, let me just, I'm going to label these so that you're clear. That's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's not a square. You need to get from start to finish. I'd like you to plot a path. Now I've got some commands here I'm going to follow. I've got some coding that was written earlier. Let's see if my coding is correct. You write yours and I'm writing mine. I'm going to follow mine. Actually, I'm going to start again because I don't know what this has got. So I'm going to start at the start and I'm going to go I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way here. I'm glad I'm doing this. How are you doing? Let's see if my coding is going to work. I've got to do 5 rotations. No, I was going the right way. I'm getting all myself all turned around. I was going the right way, so let's see where I am. Let's see if I've got it right. Let's see if I've got it right. So I'm using 5 rotations, or you could actually make it in 5 steps. I'm doing it in 6 steps. You could change the rules, you can make your own rules, or you can even get yourself to draw a picture. But right now, I can't see what you're suggesting. So you guys do yours and I will do mine. And I'm going to move mine. I'll write here what I've got. I've got 5 steps, and then 90 degrees clockwise, then 1 step 90 degrees counterclockwise or anti-clockwise, 1 step then 90 degrees clockwise, 1 step then 90 degrees. I keep things simple. I like things simple. Anti-clockwise or counterclockwise, and then I think it's going to 3 step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 3 steps 90 degrees clockwise. That's 5 rotations, or you could make it 5 steps. Oh, I don't need to move that. I can move this one. Oops. Ah, okay, we've lost it completely now. Okay, I think we've got it. By George, we've got it. And then we have 5 steps. Now, maybe that will get me there. Maybe it won't. We're going to find out. So now I've written the code. I'm going to see if it needs debugging or not. Let's find out. So we're going north. We're going that way. That's the direction we're starting in. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then rotate 90 degrees. So now I'm facing that way. And then 90 degrees clockwise, and then 1, and then 90 degrees anti-clockwise, and then 1, and then 90 degrees clockwise, and then 1, and then 90 degrees anti-clockwise, and then 1, oh, 1, 2, 3, oh, I didn't test it, you can see, 3 degrees, and then 90 degrees clockwise, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my goodness, I was short. That's 1. I was thinking I'd moved over 3, and I've actually, because I was moving 1 vertically, I only actually moved across by 2, and clearly I thought I was 1 further north and 1 further east than I was. So now what you call that, what you're doing there is debugging. When you're writing code, when you test it and it doesn't work, that's a normal part of the process. Is you write the code very well. There might be some coders out there that get it right the first time. I certainly was never one of those, as you can tell. So you write the code, you have a good go at it, you make good notes, you write your code so that somebody else can read it and somebody else can debug it. And especially if they come back to it later on and you're not there, make everything so it's understandable, legible, logical, and make notes wherever anything needs making notes. And now all I have to do is just go back and change my code. So I need to make that one, I could make that one 2 and that one 2. Now let's go and check it. Check, see if my code now works. Let's see if I've got it now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, start there. Rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Now we're going to go 2, 1, 2, there. Rotate 90 degrees anti-clockwise. North, 1, 2, rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Now we're going to go 1 across, 90 degrees anti-clockwise, and then 3, 1, 2, 3, 90 degrees clockwise, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I wrote my code. There was an error, there was a bug in it, and then I corrected the bug, diagnosed it, corrected the bug, and then ran the code, and it worked. And then what you've got to do is test it for robustness, because sometimes you can make code that only works in certain circumstances. This is a very simple code, so it's kind of hard to break. But there are people that are really good at breaking code, as in testing it and finding out where its weak points are. So this is a parallel to life. You do something, you test it, find out where its bugs are, correct it, test it again, and in coding, it can take weeks to find all the bugs, all those things that hadn't been thought about the first time it was written. Or sometimes you've got different people writing different bits of code, then they put them all together and it doesn't all work together properly. And it can take weeks and weeks and weeks to debug it. And then you send it out, and then one of the users finds, oh, this doesn't work. So nobody had actually tested for that and it didn't work. So then you have to do another debugging session and test it all again and then send it out again. and then you fix the version. So that's what all the updates are about with your apps and your programs. So this is, guess what we call that in life, and we actually think badly about it. We call them mistakes. They're not mistakes at all. You're just testing your code and you're diagnosing it, you're testing it, you're diagnosing it, you're debugging it and testing it again, diagnosing it, debugging it, test it again, diagnosing it, debugging it, testing again. That's what mistakes are. That's our code in our heads. That's my little bit that I'm adding on to this bit, is it's all that we're doing is decoding the program of life. When we make mistakes, is exactly what we're doing. So that is a normal part of the process. Believe you me, debugging code is a very normal part of the coding process. So let me just see if there's anything else here. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. There's one more thing. So as I was saying, you could make a picture. You could find a way, you could use crosses, you can use dots, you can use whatever you want. You could get somebody to make a picture and see if you can, well, you don't need to put all the dots in the middle. And you could do a Fibonacci spiral. You could see if they could do a Fibonacci spiral, see if you can work out what that is. Draw that with code, that'd be fun. Oh, now I want to do it. Okay, well, if you're in, I did say this was for 7 to 18-year-olds. For the 16 to 18-year-olds, we've got a session a little bit more detail. If you look on the resource, what you'll see on the activity above, there is a link to doing coding. Now, let me just see, I've lost track of what it's called. I'm looking at 2 documents here, and it's a logo draw. There's a link to Logo Draw that you can download for free, and you can create simple patterns, code it, then run the code, decode, diagnose it, test it, design and draw your own patterns. That's what we'd love you to do. And I think Ziggy, if you don't already have Logo Draw, I think you would enjoy doing that and just make some art. And then please do send us pictures of what you've created, send us pictures or videos of what you're doing. And we are going to issue the PB&J challenge, peanut butter and jelly sandwich challenge. And we're going to have some fun doing that. So please do send us instructions, step-by-step instructions on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And Yvette and I are going to do it, and we're going to follow your instructions to the letter. So remember to take one step forward, rotate. We might not be, well, yeah, you might need the rotate words in there. So let's find out. You have to be very precise. And then, of course, we are likely as humans to make mistakes. A robot would do it exactly as you say. And we're going to add an extra layer onto that. We will probably make mistakes and misinterpret your commands, as well as a robot would interpret them literally, and we will misinterpret them being humans. So we don't know what's going to happen. We know it's going to make a lovely mess, and it's going to be fun. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to do that this weekend. And so I'm just going to now see if anybody has left any comments. Oh yes, so if you are enjoying these lives, please do share the lives, share the group, tell people about the Making Maths Fun for Kids of All Ages group. All these activities are being created by AIMSEC on the Aiming High website. So please do use that website. There's always links to the activity in our description and on the page. And we support AIMSEC, Bubbly Maths. I'm Caroline from Bubbly Maths. We support AIMSEC. They provide high quality professional development for teachers in Africa, and there are bursaries, as in the courses are provided for free to the teachers that work in disadvantaged and rural areas where there's very little funding, and these are very dedicated teachers. They have huge classrooms of many of the children are also disadvantaged, where they might not have much at home, and that very real problem in South Africa and other parts of Africa is that they are child-led many of the homes are child-led, or the grandparents are there due to AIDS and things like that, or simply having to be away somewhere else to work. And so these teachers have some very challenging job to do, and they do it with love, with dedication, and we want to give them all the support we possibly can. Now, these activities on the Aiming High website are aimed to be being useful to teachers, but also achievable. And now, since COVID, ever since COVID, there are activities being added to those. There's a resource page being added, a special page being added to the activities for home learning and inclusion. So people that are learning maths at home, whether it be because you're still in lockdown or because you've got homework and your child might be struggling with a particular subject, or just generally in maths, they might have the maths anxiety, or you might have a child with special educational needs, you might be a carer, you might be in a home with special educational needs. All of these activities are super stimulating, and they all have a level that goes from early years to 18. So they're low threshold, high ceiling, and there's an activity that's suitable for all different levels within these sheets. Basically, it's an activity sheet. There's not a worksheet. It's all about activities, and it's all about applying brain and learning by doing. So we support them, and we will be doing some fundraising over the course of the next, ongoing. There will be fundraising. I'm going to be climbing Mount Kilimanjaro for them for my 60th birthday. Hopefully, with all the COVID and everything, that's only 18 months from now. So hopefully that's all going to be working again by then. And if not, I'll do it whenever I can do it, as soon as possible after travel opens up. And so, and I haven't got to the page where I can check to see if anybody's been watching. Let me see, here we go. And I can't see. Oh, lovely. Tony's put the link there. I had the link on the top as well. That's brilliant. And yeah, there's no other comments that I can see. So thank you for joining. And at 10 o'clock in 27 minutes, I'll be doing another live for the early years. So that's 4 to 7-year-olds. So we'll be doing more walking around the room and doing fun stuff and doing mirrors and things like that. So see you at 10, and thank you for joining us. Now I've got to find the stop the live button. I'm afraid that's how I work. I've got to talk about what I'm doing so that I can actually manage to do it and focus on it. Thank you for joining. See you at 10, 8 o'clock tonight for tomorrow's activity. That's London time. See you in 26 minutes, or do the replay for the early years on controlling the robot. That's what we called it. Coding. Thank you.